Hi, it's Gary with GEEZBEEZ. It's February the 15th. It's about 68 degrees outside today, and I just got back from London, England, visiting my daughter. She was in a musical over there, and hopefully you'll get to stick around long enough to see. We'll put some at the end of this video. I also got, while we were gone, it snowed a little bit, and so we'll show you some videos of the bees. The bees all made it. They're all good. They're out collecting pollen today, so we'll show some of that. I also wanted to let you know I'm going to start doing candles. I had bought some votive candles, some beeswax votive candles, and they're like $5 a piece now. So I've decided I've ordered some votives, little candle set. You stick that down in there, you pour your wax in, you pull it out, you pull your candle off, and you put your wick up in. And they say to use a hemp wick because it's a little bit bigger wick and it burns a little hotter. I did make some candles. I've made several candles, and it does seem like if you just use the cotton wicks that it doesn't work as well. So ordered the hemp wicks. All this came while I was gone, and so I'm going to start doing some candle making and sell a few candles at the market with my honey.
We went to London, England to visit our daughter and son-in-law and just got back and made a little video for you guys. Here's Gary as we leave the Oklahoma City airport, getting ready for the journey. Took American Airlines to Dallas, Fort Worth, where we got on the British Airways plane. And super nice. We were on the upper deck, which was not as crowded, so we were able to stretch out and lay down on some of the seats for the flight. We went to Canary Wharf. That's the financial district in London where the kids live. We took the tube there to get to Canary Wharf. It's on the Thames River. We stayed at the Ark Collective hotel, and super nice new facility. Had all the amenities, little kitchenette and bathroom, as well as a wonderful, very courteous staff. Our first adventure was the St. James Cathedral. We attended Mass there Sunday morning. It's a beautiful old Catholic cathedral, previous embassy to Spain, and that's kind of how it survived the purging of Catholicism in England back in the Henry VIII days. Really enjoyed getting to see some of the antiquities that survived being purged. The artistry in some of these works of art is just breathtaking, and so we took some photos to remember our trip. And as you see, it's just really very beautiful, very ornate. There's a nod to the martyrdom of the Catholics that were killed during the Reformation. A wooden St. Jude, which we lit a candle, said a prayer. Famous statue of Mary holding Jesus after the crucifixion. And a gold leaf Madonna with child. Here's Gary crossing the street. And we went to the underground shopping mall, which was huge. They're at the train station. I mean, absolutely everything that you would ever need, and tons of people. But here's another shot of Canary Wharf. We went to eat at the Gun with our daughter and son-in-law and took in a pint. Gary loved fish and chips, and every chance he got, that's what he ordered. I had the Sunday roast, which was superb. Here is Flash, our grand kitty, and a little shirt that I got her. We took the open top bus for sightseeing and saw things like the Tower Bridge, we saw a remnant of a Roman wall, and here's Gary posing in front of it. We saw St. Pauls Cathedral, the first Anglican church built after the fire in 1666, which pretty much burned down all of London. And so that was something special to see. Big Ben, the clock tower after its cleaning, and photos doesn't do it justice, but that's a beautiful blue clock face. And then again, the Tower Bridge. We went to the Tower of London. The tower, along with, we went inside, saw the Queen's jewels. Here's Gary entering the gate. There was a chapel inside the tower that we went to. And just, like I say, the stonework artistry is just amazing. To think that they did that without modern tools. And then we saw a little chapel, St. Peter, that translates St. Peter in chains. But a little interesting thing about this, there's one of these, I don't know, sarcophaguses that when they were moving things around, discovered it didn't have a body in it at all, but that one of the Catholic priests had put some antiquities in the sarcophagus for safekeeping. And it worked because it survived the purging of Catholicism as well. So this was there at the tower, which, me being an environmentalist, I thought this was interesting. Their water well that they used at, the original castle. And here's Gary going down the stairs. You got to be pretty good shape. Stairs, lots of stairs. Interesting story on the raven. Legend has it the Tower of London will fall if the ravens ever leave. By the time we left, we were pretty good at navigating London's train system. Not so well on their electricity, though. We found it was easier to just buy a new curling iron and phone charger than try to find an adapter to be able to use electricity. We saw our daughter's musical just for one day. Oh my gosh, would love for everybody to get to see it. It's so empowering and has such a good message of hope. Of course, it's an outstanding cast. But it was fun to get to see the poster as we got there, going up the escalator. We went and saw the performance just for one day at Old Vic in London. And it was a sellout crowd, as it has been every night. Crowd just really loved it, was into it. I was conscientious not to record during the performance, but I got this little tidbit after the closing act. Our daughter, Freddie, does a fantastic job singing Bohemian Rhapsody, and I would have loved to get to see it again, but it was sold out. The next day we went to Burrow Market, which is like a huge outdoor, open kind of farmer's market. Gary found a honey shop, so we bought our daughter some honey to help with her throat during the musical. I think it was from Tasmania, because there's not really, when you're downtown London, there's not a lot of wildflowers and trees for bees to feed on. Gary found more fish and chips. This monument is to everybody that lost their lives in the fire of 1666, when so much of London was destroyed. Our next stop was St. Paul's, which got rebuilt as a result of that fire. Beautiful, is the first Anglican church built in London, and we went inside the dome, 528 steps to the top. We were surprised to find out there was a little memorial to the United States for our help in the Second World War, and even a shout out specifically to Oklahoma, which I don't think many folks from the United States know it even exists. But here's the plaque to commemorate it, and they have a book of every American that lost their life, and they turn the page every day as a day of remembrance right behind this altar. Here is Oklahoma's piece. They have all the states on the stained glass window behind the altar. While this is the first Anglican church and it's very plain, it's reported that Queen Victoria visited and said it was very plain and boring. So the new part that was destroyed in World War II got rebuilt. There's mosaic ceilings, wrought iron gates. The addition post-war is very fancy. Gary and I went up into that dome, which you wonder how, like the true colors of all those tapestries, if they were clean. There's a photo later on of the wall once they cleaned it and got all the soot from the coal and industrial period off the walls, and you just wonder what the artwork would look like. This, let's see, is a gorgeous sculpture. There's two of them, but it's a cross basically asking, like, when will we quit having war? When will we quit killing each other? We went down into the crypt where there's a lot of folks that are buried. Some of the stuff, I just took pictures of it because I thought, again, with the beautiful artistry. They said it's like $11 million a year to keep this place up. And so one of the ways they're bringing in money is by making movies in the cathedral. This is a staircase made famous from Harry Potter, Prince of Azkaban. Here's the plain part of the church that I said earlier. They said, don't make it look like the Catholics. And so it was plain before the add-on. Here's the wall. That centerpiece shows how dirty it was before they cleaned it. And so there's lots of remembrances and memorials to folks that died in the wars. Here's a beautiful staircase. We went to the Golden Gallery up at the top of the dome. Like I say, 528 steps. Started out relatively nice, and then they got smaller and more challenging as you went up. There were times that we questioned our decision, but we kept on going, knowing that, yeah, we would have to go back down.
GEEZBEEZ here, 528 steps from the landing. We're on top of St. Pauls Cathedral dome.
I have a slight fear of heights, so it wasn't very enjoyable up at the top, but we took some views of the skylines and tried to pick out our kids' building so that we could send it to them. But it is a stunning view if you get a chance. We lit a candle and tried not to catch on fire. Again, praying for the success of the musical. And took a selfie. Don't know what this is other than I thought it was cute. And again, that's the dome that we were up in the top of. That's some of the highlights of our trip. And then we got ready to go home, and of course mind the gap between the platform and the train car. It was early morning, and Gary was pretty exhausted for the ride home. But we made it to Heathrow, got on an Airbus, tried to capture just the enormity of that thing, and couldn't do it. It's just amazing that it gets off the ground and flies at all. We had an entire row to ourselves on the way back and was able to stretch out. Of course, we couldn't have done any of this without Dog Days Inn to watch our puppers. We had such a good experience. Steve and Sandy absolutely loved staying there. It was so wonderful, relieved my anxiety about leaving them, and just cannot say enough good things and recommendations about the boarding facility in Meeker, Oklahoma. So got home, got our puppies back, and had a wonderful trip.
Well, I appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot.